Some have felt that there might be gaps within the law of attraction, but in today's show, we're going to talk about reimagining the law of attraction.
Do you want to do what you want? Do you want better money? Welcome to Dream Job Radio.
Hi, this is Daniel Lakstins, and you're listening to the Dream Job Radio. Be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so that way you can hear the next podcast that comes out. Dream Job Radio is presented by the Ultimate Reality Surfing Program. Now, Dream Job Radio has been around for 12 years, and I know a lot of you guys have been listening to the show for that long, even though we had a sabbatical. But I couldn't believe how many people were listening to the show, and so we brought it back. And lately here, I've had several awesome guests, but especially like Ronan, but it seems like most of the people listening to the show are ones that are wanting to become entrepreneurs. And of course, I'm a big law of attraction guy. And so I have a program called Ultimate Reality Surfing, which is a coaching program. And yes, I'll go ahead and plug it here. You can always get on a Calendly call with me and see if you'd be a good fit for the program. To get started, you could always run over to ultimaterealitysurfing.com and download a free copy of Designing Your Perfect Reality. Here's the thing is, I've been super busy with a lot of that stuff. I also do the Roofing Business Builder podcast, but I was working in collaboration with Ronan, Todd Ronan, and he was like, well, we can do a lot of these podcasts and get a lot more education out there. And I was wanting to do that too. It's a lot of work. But what I was thinking is I can continue to do that, but there was a new show that we're working on, which we don't really have a name for it yet. And so he's got his reality forecast going on. And then I have Ultimate Reality Surfing. I got Roofing Business Builder, got the podcast, and Dream Job Radio. So I was thinking about just for now, because most of y'all that are listening are entrepreneurs, and I think that law of attraction really does go well with entrepreneurs. Think of Think and Grow Rich, one of the first books I ever read in entrepreneurship, and so that really helps us. It's mindset, what we think about, we bring about. And so Ronan and I are putting these podcasts together, and I thought I'd just drop it here for you guys, even though it's Dream Job Radio. And then I can still interview some people when it comes to other jobs, but temporarily we'll see what happens to the show. But this way you'll also get more podcasts from me, which is going to be better for you. So why don't you sit back and enjoy this one. This one, again, is talking about reimagine the law of attraction, and listening on my conversation with this new podcast that we're doing. Hey guys, welcome to this awesome show about reimagining the law of attraction. I'm Daniel Lakstins, one of the co-hosts here also with Todd Ronan. Hey Todd.
Hey Daniel, how are you?
But I teach law of attraction, reality creation through my program, the Ultimate Reality Surfing Program. And of course, Todd is the remote viewing guru. But tell them about you, Todd.
Sure. So Reality Forecast, it's a show that I have that allows you to develop your remote viewing acuity and become a better remote viewer. You can check out realityforecast.com, and there's a lot of classes up there, and self-healing, remote viewing, and telepathy, just things to advance your psi awareness, I guess. You can find me over there.
Yeah, the psychic abilities. Hey, so Todd, today we're talking about reimagining law of attraction, but how would you define reimagine?
Well, there's a lot of people that say that they practice the law of attraction, and I think what they're doing is just kind of regurgitating something that is maybe 60 or 70 years old. There are a lot of steps that aren't included in the law of attraction. So reimagining just means taking a look at what works, looking under the hood, and finding what the problem is. So why didn't this law of attraction work for me? Because it's not going to work for a lot of people. You can't use the same thing you used 80 years ago today or 60 years ago. You have to make it new and kind of let it evolve. If something doesn't evolve, then it's not helpful.
Exactly. So the thing is law of attraction is always in action for everyone, but what's not happening is what they want to happen, right? And it's because they need to reimagine. A lot of times it's our imagination in itself. Maybe some people say, well, man, my imagination doesn't work as well as when it did when I was a little kid. And if you believe that, then you're going to get those results. But what are some other things that maybe was left out of the law of attraction, or something that maybe they didn't see in The Secret that you'd like to share?
You said imagine. I remember I was at a facility out in Oregon, and they had a thing on the wall that said imagine. And my brain exploded when I saw the word imagine in a different light, and it means I am a genie. And so knowing yourself, I think, is really a big abstract portion of the law of attraction, because without knowing yourself, without knowing your true intentions, your true saboteurs, your true blockages, you're going to be unsuccessful in this process. So learning more about you, and how would you go about doing that?
Absolutely. So self-awareness. We also, a lot of people say that you woke up, that you're actually awake and realize who you are and who you are becoming. So that self-awareness is really important. So what else would you give us on this?
I think a sense of identifying those blocks. What is holding me back? Because people think that blocks are negative, but there's a reason for them. And so looking at them through introspection, and you teach this in your course too, looking at the shadows or the other aspects of yourself that are hidden is important to eliminating those blocks and then moving ahead.
Absolutely. Because, there's several great teachers out there, but feeling happy is pretty much necessary to bring those happy experiences, happy results. But it seems like a lot of us, maybe someone listening right now is like, well, I don't feel happy all day long. There's my life is shit. And so as we keep enjoying the shitty life, then we're bringing more shit into our lives. So the best thing to do is that you got to find shadow work is one way of doing this. And that's Carl Jung. He was a contemporary with Freud. They disagreed because basically Sigmund Freud was always focusing on the sexual component, saying that, this is because you wanted to have sex with your mother or your father or something. He's kind of a little freaky in those aspects. But Carl Jung was always talking about like these paradigms of the past, the nature versus nurture. Well, when you're growing up, you got a lot of nurturing of information being programmed into your mind. And sometimes a teacher may have scolded you. So if you got scolded when you have this emotional sensation of happiness, and all of a sudden someone takes whatever you're doing and smacks you in the face, so to speak. And now you have this negativity attached to this piece of you. It gets shoved into your shadow. And so going back, that's that inner work that a lot of us have to keep doing. And we've been doing it, but keep doing it. And then once you come to terms with those things that are subconsciously causing you not to manifest, it's blocking your manifestation abilities, then you'll start to see things speed up more so in your life. And you're happier too along the way,
Yeah. Also the role of feeling gratitude for the process. The law of detachment is about making a wish board and not having that compassion and gratitude, I guess, are kind of the same thing, I'm thinking. But, there's a higher power that you must give thanks to, whatever religious feelings you have, there's a higher power in you. And you have to connect to and give thanks to that, that higher power within or externally in the process, the new process of law of attraction.
Yeah. And that helps a lot too. That gratitude, that appreciation even for the process of where we're at right now. And a lot of times you're not going to know. You're like, God, why? Why is this happening to me? Why do you keep doing this? Are you a jokester? What's going on? But we're looking at it because we're right here in the thick of it. But, sometimes it may be months later, maybe even years later, that you look back at this time period and you come to realize that it was necessary to get you through, like it's almost like a stepping stone across this river to get you to where you're needing to be. And it was very beneficial.
Yeah. And sometimes those rocks are far apart in that river. You have to take a leap of faith.
And yeah, if you're jumping to the next one, you hit your knee. Oh, no. So what else? Where else should we go with this?
A lot of people will see in their life numbers, and we ascribe that number significance to knowing if we're on the right path. Do you talk a little bit about that and how you can program those numbers to tell you something about the path you're on?
Yeah, well, and a lot of people call these angel numbers, and there's angel number calculators out there. So sometimes maybe your higher self, different ones have their angels, or they'll have their spirit guides, different ones in different teachings. And that's what's so beautiful about you and me is we talk about, we see an allowance for all these teachings out there, but the terminology changes into each one's. But so whether you have spirit guides that you're dealing with, your higher self is one term. Some call it your inner self. Then you're praying to God. So whoever that person, that's a part of you, who you are, and the terminology changes into each one.
Well, no, I just wanted to say that people think those numbers mean something and they give them value. You can set that intent to say, whenever I see this sequence, that means I'm on the right path, whether it's
that's good though.
324 or 313. Being from Detroit, I say, well, if I see 313, that's the Detroit prefix and area code. I know that that's something that is going to lead me to a memory of home, just because that's the sequence I programmed in my head. The universe sends me that 313 whenever I need to think about or reflect on something that I learned about in my youth or at home. And then
it's beautiful.
Other number sequences, a lot of people will see 1111. And because other people have seen 1111, they believe that they see 1111 too, but they don't have any pre-programmed significance to that number. We'll take a different number because that has much. We could do a whole show on 1111, and I could talk about that and viewing angles, but we won't do that.
Well, 1111 basically means that you're waking up to realizing that you're on the path to awakening, to consciousness, but you can always Google any of these numbers. But what I like what you're saying, Ronan, is then you can use any number as a trigger to make you think about what you want to think about. That's beautiful.
So those sequences you can program, and that will give you, a memory or a path to follow because you've programmed them. And your unconscious can then create a series of circumstances where you'll be exposed to that number through a license plate, through a street sign, or whatever. And then you give gratitude towards your higher self for creating that situation, that scenario, so you can see it and visualize it.
That's excellent. So, wow, we were covering several different things on this path of reimagining. I love it. Reimagining your law of attraction.
Yeah, so it's more than just your wish board. A lot of people think, this is what I want. Why isn't it working? Why isn't it working? Well, that's not the only step that you have to take. You have to release that energy and let it go forth. And, if you hold on to something too tight, you can squeeze it and break it. And so letting it go and scatter to the wind will allow it to come back to you if it's destined to come back to you.
That's beautiful. Yeah, sometimes when you just forget about it, just let it go, forget about it. That's when it pops in your mind. You're like, oh, now I get it. Or something good happens when you quit looking or trying to. If you plant seeds, you can't just keep going over to the dirt and digging your fingers in there to see if there's a sprout going, because you're going to kill the plant. So you just got to let it be, and be patient. It'll happen. It's happening.
That's right.
Todd, thank you for joining me.
It's good seeing you again.
It's great having you.
If people want to find you, they can go to.
Oh yeah. People that want to find me, you can check me out on TikTok I do at least 1 to 3 videos a day on TikTok. So it's always a positive message that helps you to either learn more about reality creation or just to be happy in general. But otherwise, go to ultimaterealitysurfing.com and you can download a free worksheet on designing your perfect reality. And that's a little free giveaway for you to help you down that road to where you can actually decide what you want. A lot of people don't know what they want, Todd, in life. They know what they don't want. That's what all they talk about all the time. So do yourself a favor. Don't talk about what you don't want. Only talk about, even if it hasn't happened, talk to people about what you want to happen in a positive way. And then you're going to see each day getting better and better.
Awesome. Good advice.
Be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so that way you can hear the next podcast that comes out.
Hi, everybody. Have a great reality. See you next time.
See ya.
Bye.